Hello and welcome to my thoughts on Set Your Sail. Ooh boy, where do I even start with this? That was a segue. I already know where I'm starting with this. I'm gonna throw it back to past me, who recorded himself, kind of live reacting, commenting through part 5. I've already talked about parts 1 through 4 individually. If you'd like to, hear my rambling thoughts on those, I'll put a playlist in the description or something. And then after I go over part 5, I'll, talk about the series as a whole, okay? Alright. Yo, Set Your Sail, part 5. I'm not gonna get into any, deep discussions or anything right now. I just kind of wanted to, record my live, reactions while I did my initial read-through. Just for posterity's sake, I don't know. So we start off right where we left off. This opening is sick. Anemone fading out of consciousness, remembering the words of her mother. So cool. I knew Kelly had to be zooming in here as fast as she could because we need them to all meet ASAP because holy shit, literally almost nothing happened in part 4 and somehow we're gonna wrap the entire plot up now, so we literally don't even know what the problem with the seas even are. We just have vague warnings from stories of the past. For every missing aglet left by the end of this story, I am going to scream. So I can't wait to see how many little questions get answered. But thanks Celestia, Kalili has arrived. But also, Kalili has arrived with all 6 other anchors. So now finally, the 7 anchors have united. What will be the consequences for this meeting? Man, Kalili is even more green than last issue. Oh god, poor Kalili. She's so sad about Anemone hating her. Oh god, here it is, the climactic meeting. Maris and Kalili are right next to each other. All 7 anchors are now united, and... Anemone, what are you doing? You better not be doing something dumb right now, Anemone. If I flip the page and you suddenly get yourself fucking blasted with magic. God damn it, Anemone! Bye. Well, I thought she was gonna get herself fucking knocked out cold. But I guess she just got, yeeted through a portal? But I haven't flipped the page yet. Is she about to get disappeared by the disappearing deck on the Galloping Ghost? Whatever that means. I doubt it. But it would be funny. Shining Sea? Shining Sea! Kalili said Shining Sea? What is the Shining Sea? Please tell me what the Shining Sea is. Okay, what does that tell me? Kalili wants to unite all 7 kingdoms in the name of the Shining Sea. Does that mean that was also her mother's goal? Because Kalili is only following her mother's goal, right? Just as Hitler tried with Europe, just as Nobunaga did with Japan, or Abraham Lincoln, blessed be his name, did with the US. So, is Shining Sea gonna be a Nazi Germany kind of conquering? Or, are they trying to, just rebuild the Union that is the Shining Sea? I personally still think they're the bad guys. But knowing that the Sparkling Sea is trying to achieve the Shining Sea does not particularly throw a wrench into my prediction for the end. Okay, so Kalili has achieved her goal of gathering all 7 acres. I don't remember if I brought this up, but god, I am so getting Eye of the Moon Plan vibes. This is a Naruto reference and not a Sonic Adventure 2 reference. Crazy. I still think Kalili is being played. Obviously Kalili is being played. But her mother, I still believe it. I still firmly believe it. Gilbert must have planted the seeds in the former queen's head. Why Gilbert specifically? I don't know, because he's there. He's omnipresent and seemingly doing nothing, so obviously he's malicious. Okay, so I'm going to turn the page and probably get blue-balled by not following the aftermath of what happened to Anemone. And Kalili's probably gonna be so crying, wah, I killed my sister, you were right, trench ponies. Yankers suck, they should never be united. My entire life is a lie. But wherever Anemone is, she's gonna find the truth of the bone cannon. Or, whatever the darkness swallowing the seas is. But now that the 7 anchors are together, what will actually happen? Okay, I have talked about this singular one page long enough. I shall now turn to the next one. I was right, Kalili is crying, but Anemone hasn't been sucked yet? The suspense. Everyone's gonna come together and help Cal Lily pull, but they all get sucked in? They all gotta get sucked in because something has to happen, plot-wise. Cal Lily's magic is back to pink? What does that mean? Because the fake Shadow Pearl cracked? Because Maris touched her horn? Okay, so just Cal Lily and Anemone went through. Okay, no one else came in, I guess. So is this actually just like, they're inside of like, the eye of a storm kind of deal? Is that all that happened to Anemone? That's not very exciting. I thought the green portal of doom was gonna be something cool. I just realized that I'm like almost halfway through. Uh-oh. I feel like nothing's happened yet. That being said, Cal Lily is officially on our side, which was step 1. Now on to step 2. Solve the actual problem with the 7 seas. How did the Sparkling Sea get the anchors? What's up with the Shining Sea? And what's actually going on with these earthquakes? Aw, this is cute. It's gonna... The cuteness will be, diminished in editing when I put in, Freddy Fazbear Noseboop.mp3, which I am legally obligated to do every time a nose gets booped. Okay, here it is. This has to be the crazy climactic moment. Cal Lily just fell off, and Maris is going down. And also, she is looking pretty badass. Anchors, do your thing. Crazy villain bad guy, reveal yourself. Gilbert, where are you? You better be waiting down there to pilfer all 7 anchors, brother. Oh no, poor Cal Lily narrowly avoids impalement just to be eaten by sea serpents. Rip. Man, a lot of almost death in this series. It's almost as if one of the co-writers has a pinned tweet on her Twitter about eating Taco Bell in a graveyard. Let it be known, I am a Taco Bell enjoyer. Alright, I'm back. I went to bed. It is now the next night. It's a little cringe to admit, but honestly, I kept thinking about Set Your Sail after I went to bed last night. And I lost faith in this story. I know, shocking. But currently, I don't think any single question is going to be answered. I think the story might just, and then the magic of friendship saved the day, the end. But I hesitatingly say this, but I am going to let them cook. They have like 10 pages, they can answer some questions, maybe we can figure out why the 7 seas got messed up in the first place, how did the Sparkling Sea get the anchors, why are they spreading these rumors about the trench ponies, whose idea was it to unite the ocean as the Shining Sea? Because apparently that's one of Cal Lily's prime directives, even though she's never talked about it before. Zip, I'm looking at you. You better uncover this truth. Why did Cal Lily even invite Pip down here in the first place? If it was just for aid against the trench ponies, she could have just told Zip the trench ponies kidnapped Pip, and Zip would have been on her side, so why keep this whole thing a secret? Alright. Let's get back to the story. Cal Lily is about to be eaten by sea serpents. Alright, so yeah, Maris comes down, swoop, yay! Save the day. And she's gonna destroy the fake Shadow Pearl, wow! I'm sure that will magically solve every single problem. Man, the mad disrespect by Maris. Give me your crown, princess. I guess Cal Lily has been demoted. All hail the new queen of the entire ocean, Maris, not just the Sea of Shadows. She's now taken over the Sparkling Sea's title, yes! So that is Gilbert's deal. He was just waiting on the train, literally forever, to go to Luna Ocean. Was he on that thing for like 60 years? What? And is that Eel Boy? Has he been on the Galloping Ghost literally the entire time? Apparently. Okay, he wasn't forgotten. He's right there, guys. Confirmed. Trench Pony the entire time. There was nothing fishy. Why would you think he was fishy? He was just promoting the absolute unity of the entire ocean. Classic Trench Pony behavior. Man, the biggest plot twist I didn't see coming was that this onion only had a singular layer that we peeled back in part 2. Whew, I did not see that one coming. Trench Pony good, Sparkling Sea bad. No nuances required. This story was exactly as it seemed. And apparently, Sparkling Sea just decided one day, better kill everyone else before they kill us, you know? I'm a little disappointed. Yeah, the trench ponies are good guys. We literally knew that the entire time. So what was the story building up to? Crazy that Jenny just glosses over like the entire reasoning why anything is happening in 2 sentences. Queen of the Sparkling Sea got scared of the other kingdom, so she welcomed in the darkness. But that darkness began to corrupt everything and demanded to be fed more and more magic. And then everything fell into chaos. Always that goddamn darkness causing all the problems. So did Maris cleanse the darkness from the sparkling sea by simply taking the anchors out of it? I guess? I feel like we could have explored this point a smidge deeper. It's crazy that they somehow told us what happened without really telling us anything at all. Did Arisot's enchantment have any point to the plot? Because that's what Zip and Anemone get all pissy about. But at the end of the day, what does that have to do with the darkness and the shining sea? Kinda just seems like a petty little issue. Although one question that got answered that I was curious about, will I have to sing a song? And of course the answer is yes. So I'm gonna go start singing, I guess. I hope you have enjoyed my live-ish, somewhat reaction and commentary to the finale of Set Your Sail. But don't get me wrong, just because the plot, okay, so you take a pizza out of the freezer, right? You open the box, you take off the plastic that's around it, you put it in the oven, and then, you go on your day for, 20 minutes. And then 40 minutes pass, you never hear the oven go off, and that's because, you forgot to turn it on. That's the feeling the plot of this story gives me. But the actual writing, the characterization, ooh, great. Actually, some of the best that I've seen in the comics. Wow. And the world building, even though it ultimately kind of led nowhere, but still? Look. You gotta let him cook, you gotta let him cook. The story is currently a frozen pizza that's been thawing in the oven for 40 minutes. Gilbert says, keep your eyes out, because apparently we might be going to Sea Dragon Drift. So, it is possible that this story is left so open because maybe it's not done yet, possibly. An agent of the Shining Sea in Eel Boy is still on the loose, masquerading as a trench pony. So, I didn't trust Gilbert before, but now that I know he was simply waiting on the train because he was waiting for it to get fixed so he could go home, he's won back my trust. I love the guy. And if he says to keep my eyes peeled for the Sea Dragon Drift, let him cook, brother. But for now, I shall be eating my frozen pizza, daydreaming for a day that the oven might miraculously turn on. What did you guys think? Alright, thank you, past me, for those riveting thoughts. I have now had several days to actually think and digest the actual content of Set Your Sail. And while maybe the story is left open-ended because the story is not in fact over, well, this story is currently over, so... But just because the actual plot's kind of up in the air, doing whatever, the theming is on point. So, Set Your Sail is a story of princesses stepping into a role of power they thought not meant for them. It is a story of, to quote Pip, charting your own course for who you want to be. Which is exactly what Zip and Pip would rather be doing, as both she and Pip are quick to turn down the adventure to see Ponyland. Thankfully though, Izzy is stoked, as is Queen Haven, and therefore Pip is forced against her will into a situation that she isn't comfortable with, as it is her royal duty. And while Pip is not the protagonist of this story, she is a foil for the protagonist, Calla Lily. And when thrust into this adventure forced upon her, Pip reacts with compassion, after, getting over the whole kidnapping fiasco. She takes action and tries to help those in need. And even though being queen isn't in the cards for her, she's still doing her part as representative of Zephyr Heights, and calls out Calla Lily. Pip's approach is very direct and transparent, whereas Calla Lily's approach to things is very much not. Calla Lily puts on a facade for her kingdom.
There's no war in Ba Sing Se.
She spends her time beautifying the entire sparkling sea, doing what she can to fight back against the darkness. And while she herself often stays in her palace, she sends raiding parties on the Galloping Ghost Galleon, and she sends out patrols to keep the border safe. And as far as any of her citizens are concerned, everything's fine. Despite the supposed cataclysms and darkness taking over the sparkling sea, everyone's in a great mood. Pip calls out Calla Lily for taking the easy way out, which is also what Anemone calls her out for, as Anemone has been weaponized into an agent of truth by Zip. And because Calla Lily is trying to keep all of the sea's problems private, not just the darkness or the ersatz, but Pip's abduction as well, Zip vilifies her. So now, after being blamed for causing the darkness, hoarding the magic of the anchors for herself, and not caring about the sparkling sea, Calla Lily steps out of the shadows and takes matters into her own fins. No longer will she indirectly fight the darkness and protect her kingdom from the confines of her palace. She can't find the Shadow Pearl? She'll make one. Her guards can't find Anemone? She'll find her. The Galloping Ghost won't surrender? She'll destroy them. Calla Lily's biggest flaw is that she is trying to do everything by herself. As queen, she and she alone bears the burden of upholding the legacy of protecting the seas. Every story's got a hero, and Calla Lily thinks it is her. And in a way, she is. At least one of the heroes of this story. The Shining Sea and the Trench Ponies have been at stalemate for 4 generations. Maybe, I don't know, the story is so vague. But within 1 day of deciding to take action, Calla Lily played a huge part in saving the sparkling sea. She called Pip down here. She caused the earthquake that allowed Maris to find the Shadow Pearl. Maybe, we still don't really know why the earthquakes were happening, I guess. The darkness. She united all 7 anchors, which allowed Maris to purify them of darkness. Good job, Calla Lily. It wasn't up to you to fix everything all by yourself. Not that anyone else will say it, as the only pony who thinks Calla Lily isn't pure evil is her sister. Pip literally just says,
Calla Lily is not trying to protect you from the darkness. She wants the magic for herself.
Little bro never even met this woman. It's so sad when Anemone yells at Calla Lily for erasing her and every other problem she doesn't want to deal with. Everything Calla Lily has done is for Anemone. After losing Anemone, Calla Lily starts to question her mother's stories. Anemone, of course, is the hope of the sparkling sea, and by losing Anemone, Calla Lily in turn loses her hope. But this does not last for long, as Pip's broadcast reignites this hope as ambition. And it really is just unfortunate that Calla Lily is just treated as the final boss. No one stops to understand or listen to her. Not even when hope, kindness, and heart descend into the ocean themselves. They actually don't do anything for the story, they just kind of showed up for marketing, I guess. As it turns out, ponies are like onions. They have layers. Together, Zip and Pip remove the caramel coating from Calla Lily's onion and reveal the gross oniony inside, and convince every pony that Calla Lily is the bad guy. Everything wrong with the ocean is her fault. But that's just the outer onion layer she wears, as whenever she is by herself, all she talks about is how much she loves her sister, and how much she wants to protect her kingdom and save the seas. But yeah, Calla Lily, good character, tragic that only Anemone sticks up for her. Thematically, I can appreciate this story, but there definitely are some really weird choices with how they tell the plot of the story. It's very indirect and in the background, and even including the little blurb that Creeping Jenny talks about at the end, I'm still guessing what actually happened in this story, plot-wise. For some reason, I just thought reading the story would tell me the story. Didn't realize we were playing a Five Nights at Freddy's game. This is the story as I understand it. So this girl, Calla Lily's great-grandmother, decided one day to do a genocide run, and she made a pact with an entity called the Darkness. I guess it might be like a Pony of Shadows Nightmare Moon sitch? Who knows? Which gave her a bunch of power, but she had to feed it magic. So while she conquered and united the 7 seas under the Shining Sea, she collected the anchors. It's still very unclear on what the hell the Shining Sea is, and who was affiliated with it, but it's definitely at least something to do with the unification of the 7 seas. And it might even be specifically what the Darkness wants. But now, flash forward to today time. Every kingdom but the Sparkling Sea has completely fallen to darkness, and Calla Lily is greatly urged by her mother to not use her magic unless it is an emergency. But what does she do? She uses her magic. And what happens? Her magic starts to fail. Why? I don't know. Maybe because the darkness. Because, like, the darkness is feeding on the magic. Or something? So if Callily starts just, like, spending all the magic, the darkness is gonna get... the darkness will no longer be satiated, and then spread corruption to the Sparkling Sea. So every time Callily is using ersatz, she remarks that it's lasting for less and less time, and I can only assume that's because the sea glass starfish is running low on batteries. Maybe kind of like how Discord slowly drains the magic from the Tree of Harmony over time, so Twilight has to return the elements to the tree to get its power back up.
As long as that magic remains, it will continue to control and contain all that grows here.
So maybe that's why the anchors need to be returned to their kingdom to refresh their juices. And then she does something wild. She decides to do the biggest, most powerful ersatz spell she's ever done, which then, boom, her magic is green, and the Sparkling Sea is earthquaking all over. I can only guess that that is the corrupting touch of the darkness. Which, while she is all green, is the only time she has ever uttered Shining Sea. Is that the darkness speaking through her? Who knows? Oh, by the way, this is a map of the Shining Sea, and this is the map Callily makes after making the fake Shadow Pearl. They look a little different, almost as if Callily has nothing to do with the Shining Sea. But also then again, this Shining Sea map is apparently ersatz. You can see the bubbly melted sand around it. But then again, that is the only thing on the train that's appears to be ersatz. What's the deal with that? Who knows? All I know is that the trench ponies don't like the Shining Sea, green Callily likes the Shining Sea, while pink Callily only ever talks about protecting the seas plural, and Eel Boy loves the Shining Sea. That's it. That is literally everything we know about the Shining Sea. But, don't worry. Maris just touched Callily, and the darkness has been purified. Sorry, I did that in the wrong order. The darkness has been purified. And with that, the magic of friendship has saved the day. The end. It's funny that the only thing that happens when all 7 anchors are finally united together is the darkness gets banished. Damn, I wonder why that idiot who wrote that captain's log thought that was a catastrophic consequence. Also, it's funny that the Queen of the Shadow Sea banished the darkness of the Shining Sea and restored the light of the oceans. That's some nice wordplay. There is an odd event that happens that seemingly contradicts the Sparkling Sea has been spreading corruption and darkness all the way back here with Callily's great-grandmother, as the mural first shows them trying to collect all 7 anchors. Cut to about 10 years before the present. The Galloping Ghost stories are in full swing. Creeping Jenny has just released Volume 3. The trench ponies are gallantly sailing the Sparkling Sea, saving any creature in trouble. A story which sets up Maris the Crow to become the hero. But then, something happens. The trench ponies get their children out and secure the Shadow Pearl, and then return to the Sparkling Sea, never to be seen again. Even though Callily and Anemone were little, they saw how scared their people were, how frightened their mom was, and they could do nothing but watch the world get destroyed. Whatever confrontation occurred between Maris's parents and Callily's mother, the former queen is the only pony to make it out of the trench that day. Everything was now different. The Galloping Ghost is outcast. Creeping Jenny doesn't write any more books, and the former queen spreads the horrific stories of that fateful day. I don't really think there's any point to pontificate further on all the weird open ends in this story, but hopefully Gilbert will bless us with another tale from the 7 seas. But even though the plot kinda just face-planted, literally everything about this story I loved. You're not gonna catch my ass saying this was a nice story. I fucking loved this. Like, not to sound like some little crybaby pussy, Set Your Sail just made me happy. Every aspect of it. Sure, I didn't expect to be looking around for hidden 8-bit minigames. I didn't expect to be trying to decipher why a character's magic suddenly changed from pink to green to pink. Why is Eel Boy so ominous and menacing when he's trying to have Pip take a picture of the map of the Shining Sea with the Shining Sea conquering everything? Is like, Oh, we're gonna have so much to show them. The Shining Sea is so amazing. Why are we so ominous about this? For seemingly no payoff. But God, what an amazing series. I don't even know what positive things to say about it. I liked everything. Everything. Literally everything. Like, there was something wrong with my brain. I am completely biased. This story just made me happy. The characters were great, the world was great. I liked it. Alright, let's wrap this up. Art changes. Okay, typos. Pipsqueak spelt wrong, Pipsqueak spelt wrong, Luna Ocean spelt wrong, I fixed them. 2, I technically don't show this panel in full, just because of how I edited this scene in the video. Here's everything in its original form. 3, in this shot of Callily smashing her mirror, I really wanted to add blood spatter. So I did. But then I felt, shit, I guess I better bloody up her fin for the rest of this scene. So I did that too. 4, when Sunny comes in and uses her Alicorn magic, they only draw on her horn, which I'm pretty sure it's a package deal with her wings, and whether her wings would turn into fins or not because of Misty's spell, screw Misty's magic, Sunny's magic is superior, I gave her wings. 5, when Izzy is catching Sunny and friends up about the plot so far, she starts her story with, so you know how onions have a couple billion layers, and then immediately cut to the end of the story, and then we segue 12 minutes later. That doesn't really make any sense, and very much feels like a mistake. So I erased the ending of her story, so it only has the onion intro, and then I cut to 12 minutes later, and then we cut back to her telling the end of the story, and I changed everyone's facial expressions. A very complicated tweak, but it was funny. And 6, in this shot here of Pip crying because she learned that Zip came down looking for her, her tears somehow sever her hair? I don't really know what's going on here, so I kind of just connected the two pieces. Very odd. Art change is done. Alright, and with that, I think I'm done rambling about Set Your Sail for now. So, let me know what you guys thought in the comments, and until next time.